Bunny Roadrunner Show.
Overture, curtain lights, this is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every part by heart. Overture, curtain lights, this is it, we'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it. Tonight, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
Starring that Oscar-winning rabbit, Bugs Bunny.
And also starring my fast-feathered friend, the Roadrunner.
Roadrunner, meep meep. The coyote's happy. Roadrunner, meep meep. If he catches you, you're through. Roadrunner, meep meep. The coyote's after you. Roadrunner, if he catches you, you're through. That coyote is really a crazy clown. Meep meep. When will he learn that he never can mow him down? Meep meep. Poor little Roadrunner never bothers anyone. Meep meep. Running down the road, his idea of having fun. Meep meep.
The Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cheap Comic Collector. This is number 248, and today we're trying something a little bit different. We're going to go over the cartoon shows that were on Saturday mornings on 1977, and I know what that was because of the ad that's in this comic right here. Back in the 70s and even into the 80s, they showed these ads, which we've seen before on my channel. And it was they were cool because it was a preview of what was coming up on Saturday mornings for kids. Because it used to be you could watch cartoons on Saturday mornings, and they had a season all their own, just like Primetime did. They'd have a new season that started in the fall, and new shows, and so on and so forth. So set your way back machine to 1977 Saturday morning. Go grab your favorite cereal. Hopefully there's a good prize in the box. And the first show at 8 o'clock in the morning was the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. And Bugs Bunny actually started out on TV in prime time on ABC in 1960. He moved to Saturday mornings in 1962, and he moved to CBS in 1968. And then they combined with the Roadrunner show, like you see here, in 1966. But then the show switched back to ABC. And then it switched back to CBS again. So CBS aired it as the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show starting in 1975. So this had already been running a couple of years as this show. And, the Bugs Bunny show went on forever, right? Everybody saw it. It was one of everybody's favorites because it went on for so many years. There's still comic books being published today based on the Looney Tune characters, which is more than you can say for the Disney characters. The Disney characters, doesn't have anything new being published in this country. So, other than, I think, Dynamite is currently doing some miniseries based on more recent film properties, but nothing with Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or anything like that. I think Warner Brothers did a smart move by putting their cartoons on TV early, because Disney, the only place you could see the Disney cartoons were on the Disney show. The Looney Tunes were all over the place. They had, at various times, they had the Bugs Bunny show, the Roadrunner show, the Porky Pig show, just all kinds of different packages of the repackaging of the theatrical shorts, and then they started adding to them and so on and so forth. So they ran for years and years and years. Next up, we've got Mr. Magoo in his third series. He started, and the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show went for an hour, so Mr. Magoo came on at 9 in the morning. And that's who we've got next.
That's me. You got the right fellow.
What new and wild adventure have you bumped into?
Wouldn't you like to know?
You are a man of stature. In your stature, 5'3". You'd be a man of vision. If only you could see what's new.
New York, New Jersey.
Mr. Magoo.
That's a nom de plume, all right.
But your dog, McBarker, looks a lot like you.
Oh, I do? Thank you.
He'd be a good Mac watchdog, but he's nearsighted too. From your peculiar point of view, this crazy world's a blur to you. Oh, see, can you see what's new, Mr. Magoo?
Oh, Magoo, you've done it again. What?
Okay, so what's new, Mr. Magoo? The sound was a little bit off on that one. Sorry, that's the best clip I could find of it. This was Mr. Magoo's third series. It only ran one season for 16 episodes. And 16 episodes was a norm for an animated show. They didn't do like a full... well, even back then, actually, primetime shows would have ran almost 30 episodes for a season. So... and normally it's now I think it's like 20, 24, somewhere in there. So animated seasons for the cartoons, kids cartoons were always shorter. Kids will just watch the same thing over and over again. So I guess they figured they didn't need to do that. I don't know, to have longer ones, but not sure if I would have watched Mr. Magoo when I was a kid. It's got a cool song. And I was a little bit surprised when the dog talked, but it's just one of those where, after the franticness of the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner hour, to have Mr. Magoo come on with that mellow song, I probably would have changed the channel. So next up we've got Skatebird from Hanna-Barbera.
It's skatebird time. And here come the skatebirds. Knock knock. Scooters. Sat cat. Then the robotic stooges. Plus the spine-tingling suspense-filled excitement of Mystery Island. And the doggone daffy doings of those dog detectives, Whooper and Whimper. And more. The unbelievable adventures of an unbelievable motorcycle, Wonder Wheel. For all-out fun, it's Satch, Knock Knock, Scooter, and Scat Cat. And for suspense, mystery, and adventure, it's the Skatebird Show.
So once again, I apologize for the bad sound. I'm working on clips of really old shows, so they just they're deteriorating, I guess, and they seem to be worse from when I watched them on YouTube, from where I picked them up. Maybe my software just didn't pick them up good enough. I'm not sure. But anyway, Skatebirds was from Hanna-Barbera. It was basically a clone of the Banana Splits show on another network, but that was also done by Hanna-Barbera. So this was them, providing the same concept for another network. It only had one season of 16 episodes. And as you saw, it had the cartoons in it, the Robotic Stooges and Woofer and Whimper, Dog Detectives, the live-action Mystery Island, and what was the other one? Wonder Wheels, yeah. So, I never watched the live-action shows when I was a kid. I never watched Banana Splits. I never watched H.R. Puffin stuff. I never watched Skatebirds or any of those shows. Anything that had live action, I just didn't pay any attention to it. And even when they had cartoons like this, I don't think I was aware that they had cartoons. I just saw the big costume animals and thought, I want to see cartoons, and would change the channel. So this was an hour-long show this season when it came out. In 1979, they repackaged it as a 30-minute show with Robotic Stooges and Woofer and Whimper as the cartoons. And, the Robotic Stooges and Woofer and Whimper were spun off into another series that ran on Sundays. And that left Mystery Island and Wonder Wheels on the Skatebirds show, which, still ran on Saturdays, but as a 30-minute show. So, yeah, if you have memories of those type of shows, let me know, because I feel like I missed out on something watching the promos. They looked like they were kind of cool. And, of course, skating was big in the 70s. I remember going roller skating and to roller rinks and stuff with my family and friends for birthday parties and stuff. So I couldn't skate very well. I basically held onto the railing and just walked around the rink for the most part. But yeah, so it looked like it could have been a cool show, although it did only last one season. So next up we have Space Academy.
Welcome to man's most magnificent achievement in the conquest of space. The man-made planetoid, Space Academy, founded in the star year 3732. Here we have gathered young people from the farthest reaches of all the known worlds. They have been chosen for their unique abilities and are being trained to cope with the mysterious, the unknown, the unpredictable dangers lurking in the vast darkness of space.
All right, so Space Academy. This also only had one season. It was only 15 episodes. But it did have a spin-off. If you remember Jason of Star Command from the Tarzan and the Super 7 series that came out the next year, that was actually supposed to be part of this Star Academy. They used the same sets and the same costumes and the same special effects. And so it was actually had a spin-off the next year. And of course, this probably came out of it was 1977, so this was probably rushed into production after the success of Star Wars. Everybody was getting into space shows, and I found it interesting too that the one kid there looked a lot like Sean Cassidy on the Hardy Boys, who of course became a rock and roll star. Basically, I don't know when the Hardy Boys started, if this was before or after that. I should have looked that up, but I didn't realize. I didn't notice the resemblance of the hair and everything until just now. Let's see. Next up, we got the Batman Tarzan Adventure Hour.
Greetings, Bat fans. This is Batman.
And Robin, the Boy Wonder.
And me too, Batmite.
Welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman. Watch us wage our never-ending battle of good versus evil.
Ride with us as we chase the greatest array of villains the world has ever seen, proving that crime does not pay.
Get set for thrills and action. Join me, Batman.
And me, Robin the Boy Wonder.
And Batgirl. And me too, Batmite.
In the super new adventures of
Batman.
Jungle. Here I was born. And here my parents died when I was but an infant. I would have soon perished too had I not been found by a kindly she-ape named Kala, who adopted me as her own and taught me the ways of the wild. I learned quickly and grew stronger each day. And now I share the friendship and trust of all jungle animals. The jungle is filled with beauty and danger, and lost cities filled with good and evil. This is my domain, and I protect those who come here. For I am Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle.
All right, so yeah, Batman and Tarzan Adventure Hour. I don't believe they had an overall theme for that hour. I think they just showed the two individual series. The New Adventures of Batman actually started earlier in the year. They started they came out in February of 1977, and they had 16 episodes. And the voices were done by Adam West and Burt Ward. From, of course, the 60s Batman series. So that was cool. And Tarzan had come out the previous season in 1976. And they had 16 episodes that year. And then for this year, they added 6 episodes in. So they mixed the two shows together to become the Batman Tarzan Adventure Hour. Or at least that's how they build it. Yeah, each had its own introduction. I don't think there was any overall framing sequence like there was for the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour. I may be wrong, but I couldn't find one, and I don't see any evidence of there being one. So, and of course, Tarzan, Batman, has had different animated series over the years. The Tarzan series, actually, they prolonged it for quite a few years. It was after this, it became the Tarzan Lone Ranger Adventure Hour, and then eventually it became the Tarzan Lone Ranger Zorro Adventure Hour. So that was kind of cool having those, all those old style heroes all in the same show, basically. So that was pretty neat. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Next up, we have show called Wacko. So I couldn't find any clips for Wacko. There was only 10 episodes. It was a live action show. It ran for 30 minutes. It was basically vaudeville humor skits, maybe some music. And if you have any clips of this show, any tapes of this show for whatever reason, post them on the internet, because they're gold and nobody else has them. I cannot find anything about this show hardly at all. It did have Charles Fleischer in the cast, who, of course, years and years later went on to voice Roger Rabbit. And also Rip Taylor was in the cast. Those are the only two names I recognized. Rip Taylor was he was supposed to be a comedian back in the 70s. I never thought he was funny. He was one of those guys, to me, he was more obnoxious than he was funny. But I believe he was a regular on The Gong Show. And he would show up in different things like the Brady Bunch Variety Hour and stuff like that. Just a real odd character that he was. And next up, we've got Hey, it's Fat Albert.
Hey, it's Fat
Okay, so I'm definitely having some software issues. The software just kicked me off. So I got to queue up Fat Albert again, and we'll try to get it working right here. It wouldn't let me go full screen, and then it kicked me off. And of course we've been having some sound issues. So hopefully this little reboot will.
Hey, 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 it's Fat Albert, and I'm gonna sing a song for you. And Bill's gonna show you a thing or two. You'll have some fun now with me and all the gang, learning from each other while we do our thing.
This is Bill Cosby coming at you with music and fun. And if you're not careful, you may learn something before it's done. Hey, hey, hey.
All right, so everybody watched Fat Albert. I mean, it ran for years and years and years. It went from 1972 is when it started until 1985. It had over 100 episodes filmed throughout the years. I think around 110 plus some specials, and it actually aired later in the day. It was on at 12:30. So by now it would have been lunchtime. If you're laying there watching cartoons, it's about time your mom or dad's going to kick you out of the house and tell you to get outside. Next up is Secrets of Isis.
"O my queen," said the royal sorcerer to Hatshepsut, "with this amulet, you and your descendants are endowed by the goddess Isis with the powers of the animals and the elements. You will soar as the falcon soars, run with the speed of gazelles, and command the elements of sky and earth." 3,000 years later, a young science teacher dug up this lost treasure and found she was heir to the secrets of Isis. And so, unknown to even her closest friends, Rick Mason and Cindy Lee, she became a dual person. Andrea Thomas, teacher.
Almighty Isis.
And Isis, dedicated foe of evil, defender of the weak, champion of truth and justice.
So yeah, Isis. Isis was actually the first female superhero on TV. She was on before Wonder Woman or Bionic Woman, and they did 2 seasons, which added up to 22 episodes. I think there was 15 episodes the first season, and then 7 the second episode. So normally a full season is 16 episodes, and then they add 6 in, but this one went the other way, did 15 and then 7. So kind of maybe the last episode of the first season wasn't ready in time or something. I don't know, because that was just odd that they would do that. But yeah, it crossed over with the live-action Shazam series 3 times, which when it originally aired in 1975, it was teamed up with the Shazam show. It was like the Shazam Isis Hour or something, I think. And so yeah, and the character, of course, has continued a little bit. DC has incorporated her into their mainstream universe within the last few years, and the characters appeared here and there, I think, over the years, and in some other Filmation series, just as a guest appearance type thing. And that's pretty much it for the regular shows. After that was over, at 1:30 they started something called the CBS Saturday Film Festival, and that show actually started in 1967, but before this it was hosted by Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. This version didn't have a host. They did away with them this season, and this was the last season, regular season, I guess I would say. The show was basically, it took foreign films and sometimes dubbed them into English if it was needed, and so just a series of like short films and movies for kids that were filmed all over the world, and things like that. So I would have been out playing long before this, so I would have missed this, definitely. Probably after Fat Albert would have been the last show I would have watched on a Saturday morning. And but the show did continue sporadically throughout the years, just kind of when they needed something to fill in programming. You know, they had an empty space in the programming on Saturdays or something. I think they would throw one in there. And and then they brought it back in the 80s. I couldn't find any film footage for it for this particular version. It only lasted like from September till December. So I don't have any introduction or anything that I can show you. I found one for the 80s, and I found some stuff with Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, but nothing from this year. So, and then also throughout the Saturday mornings, they would have the In the News segments, which were 2-minute spots of news for kids. Basically, they would either have something, you know, to do with kids, or they would explain some kind of news story in a way that the kids were supposed to be able to understand it. Yeah, if you were like me, you didn't pay much attention to that. Where are the cartoons? We want to see cartoons. But anyway, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it, and a little bit different for me compared to just showing comic books like we usually do. I do drop a video every day at noon, except for Saturdays when we try to do a live stream. Not going to make it every Saturday. I think this coming Saturday I'll be at a comic book sale at the Comics Den home sale. So probably won't have, if I do, man, I'm going to try and go live at their show. I don't know if I'm going to have a good enough internet connection to do that, but I'm going to try. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. I'm sorry for the sound issues in this. In the software cutting out on me. Honestly, I mean, I'm using StreamYard, and it seems to have problems lately. And I don't know. I paid for a better version because I use it so often, and honestly, I was having better luck with the free version, I think, than I do with this paid-for version. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.